What up, Factionistas, and welcome back to Faction Halloween. 31 videos in 31 days. It's Friday. We've made it a full week. Proud of us. If you guys haven't already, definitely subscribe and hit that little alert button in the top right-hand corner of my channel to stay up to date when I post videos. Okay? Today we're getting into that mummy Pharaoh vibe. It's not really a mummy because I didn't want to use any bandages, but it's like a dead Pharaoh, but it's like a mummy without the bandages. You know? You know. Okay, so let's just jump right in, homies. Okay, so starting off per usual, I'm using my teeny tiny little NYX white pencil, and I'm going to use this to outline the overall shape of my makeup design. I do this every time because it really helps keep me focused, and since it's a white pencil, it's very easily removed if you want to change up any lines or shapes. So you get a really, and nothing's too concrete, so you can really change the idea once you kind of see it half outlined on your face. So I'm going in with the teeth first, and then doing the whole mouth area. I'm doing that tear on the right side of my face, and then I'm doing a little bit more of tearing on the left, which I think I end up removing, but then we're going in with some little bit more of traditional skull shapes by creating a top jawline and a bottom jawline, and then going in with a little bit of a jagged nose. And then since this is a mummy, we're going in with a little bit of holes around this makeup to really create like decayed and like missing areas. I took the Makeup Forever Flash palette and I mixed black, white, and green to get this like dead-ish gray. Like I wanted it to have a little bit of a green undertone since we're going with more of a mummy vibe. And I'm using that now to fill in all of the solid, like almost like the foundation area. So you want to go around those holes, but you want to do the top jawline around the nose, the bottom jawline, and create a nice gray base and leaving out the highlight sections and the deep black hollows. So I add a little bit of white face paint to our pre-existing gray so everything stays in the same color family, and I'm using it to now do the highlight areas, which is the little tendon on the left side of my face and the tear on the right side of my face. So now adding a little bit of black to that pre-existing mixture to again get it in the same family. I'm using it now to shadow. So I'm shadowing underneath the top jawline where it meets the bottom jawline and the entire jaw area, going in now to the hollow marks in the sides of my cheeks and fading that out with a blending brush. You feel me? I just can't not say it. I'm sorry. So next I'm going in now and doing a little bit of those little rotten areas, those whole areas, and shading those in too. And then going in with a setting powder because since this is all cream makeup, you do want to set it or it will slip and slide around the face. So just set it all good and good. Now I'm going in with the shadow by Anastasia. I believe it's deep brown. Yeah, it's deep brown. And I'm using that to further shade and shadow that where that top jawline meets the bottom jawline in those rotten areas and a little bit in the hollows of the cheek. This makeup is a lot of layering and a lot of repeated steps because you really want that multi-dimensional feel. But now I'm going with the black eyeshadow and I'm using it to really section off that top jaw from the bottom jaw. And then I'm going around in the hollow section of the cheek and doing it, around the mouth and all that kind of stuff. We're just lightly and slowly bringing in more shadows to this makeup. Going in with the Makeup Forever palette, this is artist palette number 4, I'm going in with this neutral gray, which is becoming my favorite palette of Halloween, and I'm using it to just lightly contour, so I'm doing it around the sides of the nose, I'm going to do the temples of the face, underneath the eyes, all that section. We are obviously only doing the bottom jawline because we are going to be wearing a hat, so we're leaving the forehead bare, but I'm going in now and just adding a little bit of depth before we highlight. Going with the white cream makeup again, now I'm just highlighting some more areas, middle of the nose, tops of the cheekbones, all of that. I'm going to be highlighting and shading over and over and over. So now I'm going in with that gray eyeshadow some more, and I'm adding some more shadows around the bottom jawline, on the sides of these like tendril marks, and to really just add some depth and shadow into this makeup so it has a lot of movement and there's a lot going on. And then with the black face paint, just to keep it clean and focused, I'm using it now everywhere the makeup isn't. So around that temple area and all around the jawline, and then putting it on the ears as well. So just fill it in with straight black, so it's a nice negative space. And going in with white face paint now, we're going to start highlighting some more. So I'm going in really on the highest portions of the face. So I'm going in at the tops of the cheekbones, the jawline, and the nose. This is where it really starts to come together. I'm taking Tarte's Double Take Felt Tip Eyeliner, and I'm using it now to create these outline marks. And this is what really is going to bring it all to life. And this is quickly becoming my favorite eyeliner because the felt tip is so thin and it's pure, pure, pure black. When I first started doing makeup, when I was doing these kind of shadow lines, I really didn't understand the importance of making them as thin as humanly possible. You want them to be incredibly, incredibly thin because it really just, it delivers your message better than a thick line. It's more finished and more polished. So this felt tip eyeliner is really quickly becoming my favorite. So you guys can see I'm just outlining everything, but I'm also extending it out and making like cracked areas, the cracked lines. This is going to add more dimension and depth into it, and it really just translate that dead feel and broken bones and like all that good stuff. So you want to do that everywhere. So now I'm going with the black eyeshadow, and I'm gonna, it's not really black, it's like a very deep gray. I'm going in now, and I'm just adding some more shadow and some more depth into that jawline area, the hollow areas, and I'm smoking out some of that black line. Some of it was a little bit too stark, so I'm applying a deep gray eyeshadow and then blending that out with a blending brush. Now I'm going in with white face paint again, and we're doing our more solid, more structured highlights. So I'm going in with very thin but bold lines, and I'm tapping it in if it's a little bit too pigmented, but I'm just creating those extreme highlights to really pull those parts forward. And then now I'm going with black eyeshadow, and I'm kind of doing almost final shading. So I'm going in with deep, deep black, and I'm really shading around the mouth and right in that hollow section, so your eye really knows like where the depth is, what's highest, what's lowest, and what's deepest. So going with that black eyeshadow and then a little bit of a blending brush to really blend all of that out. But you guys can see now that these extreme shadows are in, it has more structure and it's starting to make a little bit more sense. So, but I like to go in with a lot of different shading techniques, and I kind of repeat it because you want the different opacities and different textures and different depths. So the more, you know, shadows that are in there, the more that the makeup will really move. But I'm going in now with a deep gray eyeshadow again, and I'm enhancing all those contour areas around the chin, around the nose, top of the temples, and then once all that shading is, the blending might have diffused some of those black lines. So I'm going back in with the felt tip and restructuring up those lines. And, you know, repeating these steps a couple times is what really is going to give you that multi-dimensional feel. And there's going to be a lot of different opacities of pigments and shadows and highlights and all the different kinds of stuff. So really, you know, overwork it, and that's going to give you a ton of movement. So I'm going in with this Mayron. It's a powder metallic pigment, and they're mixing liquid, and that's going to give you like a gorgeous gold. So I'm going with a lip brush. It has a beveled, rounded edge, and I'm using that shape of that brush to my advantage to create even teeth every time. So it's the exact width of the brush. So the same thing you can see on the bottom lip. I'm trying to really position the brush so I can get that hollowed out U shape every single time, and then going in with that felt tip eyeliner again and start outlining the separation of these teeth. I wanted to really throw in that gold there to really kind of signify that it's a mummy, and, you know, it's very Egyptian with the gold and all that stuff, since it will also match the costume, and there's a ton of gold in the costume, so I wanted to bring that into the makeup as well. So I'm bringing my lighting on my camera down so you guys can really see how true gold this is. It looks a little bit yellow when the light's blasting it too much, but it is this gorgeous high shine gold, and I love it. So I'm going in with highlighting the gum lines now. So I'm using a cream white, and I'm just creating these straight lines, and then I'm going to buff them in, blend them in so it's not too stark. And then with a black or a deep gray eyeshadow, you want to start enhancing the shadows in here too. So you want to go in between each gum and around that. What we're creating is kind of like the front jaw. So we want to really just create those shadows in there to break up that highlight so it has lots of movement going on. And then you want to finish it off with the felt tip eyeliner too. You want to really want to define a shadow, use the felt tip eyeliner to really, you know, get that true black. And then with all the blending, we might have lost some of the teeth. So I'm reapplying that gold, letting that dry, and then going back in with the felt tip liner one more time to redefine each tooth. See, look at that gold. I like live for it. So we're testing out the costume, and I'm realizing that my eyes are going to start showing through more than I originally planned. So I put in these contacts from scaleralenses.com, which is, they're designed by Mr. GeoCreature on Instagram, who is thebomb.com. So I'm just creating a felt tip, with the felt tip eyeliner. I created a little bit of a black line in a jagged way, and then I'm just using dark brown and dark gray and black eyeshadows to really smoke that into my mobile eyelid to add depth really quick, and then just adding a little bit of black. It doesn't have to be perfect, because, I mean, this is obviously a dead mummy, so it doesn't have to be even or beautiful by any means. But once you get there, you are done, my friend. You have yourself a dead Pharaoh mummy. The costume is from wholesalecostumes.com, which I do have a coupon code for 20% off if you guys are interested in getting costumes this year. And I'll have everything that I used in this video is with the contacts and the costume all linked down below. And I love you guys so much, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys tomorrow night. Bye, friends.